everybody, it's me, Catieosaurus, and welcome back to my channel. I have a very important question to ask you. Have you bought your Christmas presents yet? And also, happy second day of Hanukkah when this video is being made. So listen, we've got the holiday season coming up. We're giving gifts. We're showing people that we appreciate and love them in our lives. And I love that for us. One of the most popular questions that I get asked every year around this time of year is, well, what do I give the person in my life with ADHD? So today we're going to talk about my top 5 recommendations for people with ADHD. Now, before we start, I just want to say I am going to mention some specific products in this video. However, none of those products have given me money unless, for real, this isn't a sponsored video. This is just my genuine recommendations about some great stuff that is out there for the ADHD people in your life. Also, you might be wondering where my holiday decorations are. Search inside your soul. You know I forgot to set them up. It's fine. We'll fix it in post. Recommendation number 1, don't give them anything. A lot of people with ADHD don't need more stuff. We struggle with impulsive buying. We struggle with clutter and organization. And so sometimes giving the gift of another thing just means that it's something that gets put on the pile. And so rather than giving a thing, I always recommend giving the gift of an experience. Now, what do I mean by that? There are tons of different things that you can send your ADHD friend or partner on. You could sign up for a cooking class or a pottery class, or even something like a certificate to an escape room. Some unusual thing that they wouldn't necessarily do unless they had the opportunity to do it because of your gift. However, a really crucial part of this is to remember that when you give an experience, you're also giving a task. And that can be a lot of pressure for an ADHD person because, oh my gosh, they got this thoughtful gift of a pottery class, but now they have to sign up for it. Now they have to be there on time. Now they have to remember to show up or go buy an apron, whatever it may be, right? So it's important to remember that when you're giving the gift of an experience, part of that gift also needs to be your support and your patience in making sure that they're able to enjoy and use that gift on their terms. Nobody likes getting homework for Christmas. Next up, along the same lines of an experience, is number 2, give them a new hobby. Now, many people with ADHD love starting new hobbies, but we don't necessarily stick to them all the time. One of the most creative and fun gifts that I love to do are creating little mini kits or little mini activities that a person with ADHD can do. You know, give them some yarn and some knitting needles or a crochet hook or something and say, hey, you might like this hobby. You might not, but here's a little smorgasbord platter for you. Another really great way to do this, if you're not feeling particularly motivated to build your own gift box, is to subscribe them to a monthly craft box. This is a true story. When I started making this video, I was like, oh, I'm sure there's like a couple on the internet. And I found out there are literally hundreds of companies doing different types of craft boxes. They have ones for artisan crafts and ones that are geared towards kids, and they have ones that are geared toward knitting and scrapbooking and on and on and on and on. So there's a ton of different options out there. So don't be afraid to spend a little bit of time looking to really find one that you feel like fits with your ADHD friend or partner's personality. Number 3, give them something that they can succeed at. Now, I'm not going to list off a bunch of different brands and names because there's a billion of them, but things like puzzles or puzzle boxes or model kits or things like that are something that they can sit down and they can do and they can finish all in one go. That can be really rewarding for the ADHD brain, especially for people who tend to struggle with completing projects. If you give them something mini to do that they can just sit and finish, that can be a really great feeling and a really rewarding gift for somebody with ADHD. Number 4, embrace their sensory needs. Many people with ADHD struggle with sensory input. When you have ADHD, it can be really easy to hyper-focus on sensations, especially uncomfortable ones. So giving someone the gift of a delightful sensory experience can be a really meaningful gift. Now, you can be as creative as you want with this, but things like really comfortable fuzzy socks, if they like very comfortable fuzzy socks, favorite foods, favorite snacks, even gift certificates for things like massages or pedicures. But again, make sure that you talk to them first and you know what their particular sensory input needs are. Another really good one here is a pick palette. Now, if you're not familiar with the concept of a pick palette, it's basically something that you can sort of pick and pull and play with, which is great for people with ADHD. A lot of people with ADHD struggle with something called body-focused repetitive behaviors, which look like things like picking at your nails or picking at your cuticles, pulling at your hair, chewing on the inside of your mouth. And that, as you can imagine, can be physically damaging after a while. And so a pick palette is a really great option for somebody who is trying to work on those BFRBs and cut back on picking or pulling or pinching. Other great options here include things that have to do with how your ADHD friend or partner navigate through the world. I always love to recommend loop earplugs for people who deal with noise sensitivity. They seem to be sort of like one of the best options for a lot of people with ADHD, but also noise canceling headphones might be perfect. Similarly, chew necklaces or chew jewelry, especially the kind that looks like it's for grown-ups, as well as your usual options like fidget toys or stim toys, even those little pop mats. Those can be really great like stocking stuffers for people with ADHD. Lastly, and this is where the recommendations are going to come in, give them the gift of an ADHD tool. However, caveat, warning, it's important to remember that not every tool is going to work for every person with ADHD, and that is okay. What helps support one person might not work at all for another, and that's normal. So with that being said, here are a few suggestions of products and things that I love. Again, not sponsored, but unless. My number one thing on the list is Dani Donovan's Anti-Planner. Dani is a dear friend of mine, and we have gotten really close this year, and it's been such a privilege to get to know her. But she created this incredible planner, and when I tell you, this is one of the just wholesomest, most supportive, most best things that I've ever seen. I mean, this thing is truly, it's phenomenal. So it's not a planner in the sense of, like, oh, it's a date book calendar, that kind of thing. But instead, what Dani has done is she has created just this massive collection of ways to get stuff done, ways to work through the issues that you have, ways to help when you're stuck or overwhelmed. This thing is incredible, and I'm truly obsessed with it, and I'm so excited for Dani, and so I really encourage you to check it out, and I've also put a link to it below if you want to check it out. I had to scoot over so I can put the pictures here like John Oliver. Another type of great tool for a person with ADHD is something that facilitates a specific struggle that they have. For example, this water bottle with a built-in pill dispenser. It's a great way to remember to take your meds. Similarly, I have a Spindo, which is basically like a little candy dispenser that you can put your meds in, so kind of novelizes it a little bit. Other suggestions include things like visual timers or the time flip, which is really handy because you can sort of like flip it around and keep track of time. One of my personal favorites is always tiles or other tracking devices that can help for people who maybe like misplace their phone or their keys a lot. It's me, I'm the people. Now, of course, there's a whole world of, fidget toys and useful objects and items for people with ADHD to help with things like input stimulation and time management and organization. But like I said earlier, what works for you might not work for me, and that's okay. But here's the thing. This is the first time I've done one of these, top 5 lists. So really and truly, I want to know, what did I miss? What are your favorite gifts that you've gotten if you have ADHD? What are useful things that you found for yourself that you want to recommend? Let me know in the comments, because I really want to turn this YouTube page in general into much more of a community experience where we can sort of talk and share tips and tricks in the comments. So feel free to drop your own product recommendations down below. Anyway, that's it for me this week, and probably until the end of December, because I'm taking the next couple weeks off to celebrate the holidays with my family and take, honestly, a much needed rest. But I just want to let you all know that I'm so grateful for this community and so grateful for all of you. And so I hope you have a very Merry Christmas, a very happy Hanukkah, a very wonderful and happy holiday season, and I will see you next year. Bye, everybody. Hi everybody, it's me, Catieosaurus from the future. You can tell because my hair is slightly dirtier than it was yesterday. I forgot to tell you two very important things. Number one, I have a podcast. It's called Katie and Eric's Infinite Quest, an ADHD adventure. We talk about life with ADHD and depression and navigating life as neurodivergent adults. We also sometimes play Dungeons and Dragons. We'd love for you to check it out. We just found out how many people listen to our podcast, and we're so excited and so thrilled about the success of the podcast this year. And so if you are just now finding me on YouTube, I would love for you to join us over on the podcast. And also, secondarily, I'm running a sale on my OnlyFans, so just putting that out into the universe. Okay, bye!